Hello friends, welcome back to another edition of the Hasidic Gamers.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Now, we've been having an absolute blast with our Switch 2 systems, playing them over the last month from release, but we still have a massive, massive library of Switch 1 games that I collected over the years.
That you've mostly collected and me not so much.
Over the years that I still want to play. So I thought it would be fun for me and Chaim to each go look through my collection, since most of the games are mine, and make a list of 20 games that we still want to play through the Switch 2 generation. Now, there's obviously more than 20 games that I still want to play, but I decided to narrow it down to 20 games. And we each have a stack that we're going to go through. Some of them will talk a little bit longer than others, but for the most part, we do not know what games are in each other's stack. So let's start talking about these games, and we'll have Chaim start off with the first game on his list.
So the very first one is, I've been wanting to play this a long time, but it was not on a Nintendo system, is Ni no Kuni. I love my Joe Hisaishi scores. I'm a huge anime fan. I might talk about that later. But I want to play this game primarily because I love a good anime art style. I like that artistry that I've seen similarly in Okami. That was what I love in a good Japanese game. And that's why I'm looking forward to this one.
So with Chaim starting off with Ni no Kuni, I have no choice but to start my list off with Ni no Kuni 2 Reverent Kingdom Prince's Edition, which this includes all the DLC. Now, I already played Ni no Kuni 1 on the Switch, and it's time for me to play Ni no Kuni 2 soon.
This doesn't have DLC?
This does have the DLC.
Oh.
And I don't think this had much DLC to begin with.
But it still comes with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed Ni no Kuni 1. I didn't think everything was perfect, but some of the main issues I had with it looked to be different in Ni no Kuni 2, even though Ni no Kuni 2 is not animated by Studio Ghibli like Ni no Kuni 1 is. So, it's going to be fun, each playing a Ni no Kuni game in our backlog, and we will be discussing them. As with every game that we talk about on this list, we will discuss on the channel as we play it.
So after I finish this, and after you finish that, then I'll finish that. I feel like that should probably be the first on your list, because that could be a good video series.
So what's the next game on your list?
The next game on my list is actually BioShock. I actually did play during the pandemic. I played the first game. And earlier we talked about, before making the video, that we wanted to make a distinction, and I'm like, no, it doesn't really matter, because there are 3 games in this. I played one of them. The other 2 were games that I never got to play because they weren't on a Nintendo console. And I want to play BioShock 2 and BioShock Infinite.
So, I've never actually played any BioShock games, but
they're definitely worth the hype. I mean, the first one was great. The visuals I heard a lot about.
Now, the second game on my list is Okami HD. I've heard a lot of good things about this over the years.
Yes,
and then
you have.
Once I got to know Chaim, I've heard even more good things about it. And I'm like, I gotta pick this one.
Incessant things, you mean.
I'm like, I really gotta check this one out because I've heard such good things about it.
I have the, I think here we have the original Wii version of it too.
And now there's Okami 2 coming out in the next few years, so we'll see if that launches on the Switch 2 or not.
And it's not related to the DS version?
I don't know.
Because that was Okami Den.
No, it's official Okami 2.
Gotcha.
I did forget to say for Ni no Kuni and Ni no Kuni 2, I did hear reports that they run a lot better on the Switch 2 than Switch 1. So that's good to know for the Ni no Kuni games. I didn't hear anything about BioShock.
It'll be interesting to see how this looks on Switch 2, because that's another thing. Some people are talking about games already, how they run on Switch 2, even if they don't have an official release.
Yeah. So what's the next game on your list?
Okay, would you believe East 10 Nordics is on my list?
Because
you won't shut up about Ease. So I thought, maybe I should play this.
I am currently having a goal of playing through all the games in the East series from my favorite developer with Neon Falcon, who made the absolutely incredible Trail series. And
insert eye rolls here.
And Chaim likes his pirates, and this has a lot of pirate themes in it. And I thought he'd love this game. I absolutely loved this release. Now, Chaim, let me ask you this. Are you going to be playing this version, or are you going to be waiting for East 10 Proud Nordics on the Switch 2?
I don't have an answer to that. I plead the fifth on that. This might get scratched from my list, and I'll find something else to put there.
Well, I mean, if he waits for the updated version, it's still one of the 20 games on his list. It's not a sequel. It's the same game, just updated.
Okay, but... Okay.
I am really excited to replay East 10 Proud Nordics whenever it releases on the Switch 2 in English. Now, the next game on my list is going to be 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim from Atlas. Now, this is a Vanillaware visual novel hybrid game that I've heard incredible things about. I did start it. I didn't get very far into it. I haven't touched it in a long time. And I really, really, really need to actually sit down and play through this game because I've heard absolutely incredible things. The visuals on this are just outstanding and beautiful and stunning. And the gameplay's fun. So I just really got to get to this. So, have you ever heard of this one?
I haven't. But I think Atlas did Trauma Center. I played that on DS, and I rage quit that game. I also got Trauma Center Second Opinion for Wii, and I also rage quit that.
I did pick those up recently. I gotta try them out.
Yeah, try them and see if you don't rage quit like I did.
So what's the fourth game on your list?
The fourth game for me is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, because I've also seen you obsessing over the Rabbids. And I thought it's time for me to try this. And I've also heard a lot of people talking about it. I played a few of the Rabbids games. And I'd like to see how it meshes with the Mario universe.
I loved that game so much. Played it to death when it released. And when Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope came out, I went to the launch event in New York, and I got this copy signed by Davide Soliani and Grant Kirkhope.
You just dropped a bunch of things from that.
Yes, my things. We're not going to talk about what those things are.
Oh, you mean stickers? I love stickers.
So this game is absolutely fantastic. It really introduced me to this strategy RPG genre. Yeah.
And Paper Mario isn't?
Paper Mario is not a strategy RPG.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to clarify that later.
Alright. Now, the next game on my list is going to be a little indie game called Top D and 2D. This is a cute little indie game.
Oh, it's like Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
That changes perspectives and is made by an Israeli game dev, so...
Oh, that sounds just like Super Paper Mario for Wii, which is one of the worst games for Wii I've ever played.
I think it's very different, and I'm sure that's not the worst game on the Wii.
Okay, it isn't, but you, like...
So this is a cute little indie, and I gotta try it out, so it's on my list.
Moving onwards, I have... Some of you might know, and if you don't know, I am a huge Agatha Christie nerd, and I saw Agatha Christie's Poirot the First Cases. I've read quite a few of the Poirot novels. I've played And Then There Were None and Evil Under the Sun on Wii, and I'm really excited to see how it works as a Poirot on the Switch. And I'm hoping that maybe it'll look nice on the Switch too. But again, I think they're going for an art style here, which is what I'm always here for, is a good art style. So I have high hopes that this game is going to be done with the utmost respect to Agatha Christie and the famous Belgian Detective Poirot.
I thought he was French.
You know, you're just like Salome Otterborn. You're just like Mrs. Van Skyler. It is Belgian.
So yeah, this is the second Hercule Poirot game that released on the Switch. There have been,
It's Hercule Poirot.
He's just going to correct me every time.
Always.
I think there's like 5 or 6 of them now. The first one was the ABC Murders, but I never picked that up, so this is the first one that I have. So yeah, it'll look interesting. Now the next game on my list is going to be Doki Doki Literature Club. This is, from what I heard, a very sweet and very, very wholesome, very cute visual novel, and I'm like, that looks cute, I should try it out. I started playing it, didn't get very far into it, and I really need to get back to it, because I've heard...
How long has it been?
Great thing. It's been a few years. Quite a few years.
I'll give that to you.
Yeah, I didn't play long. I just heard it's just very sweet, very wholesome, so definitely one that I have to give a try.
So I think my next on the list is Rose and Camellia collection. I love me a good period drama. Give me some Downton Abbey, Bridgerton, give me anything. And apparently a game where you just slap people, you know, that's a great concept. And I've seen some of it on YouTube, some of the stuff on social media. I'm like, I've got to do this. After all, I've got to slap my way into to the top of high society.
I did play it for a little bit. It's very cute. The controls are a bit clunky, but it's cute. It's fun.
But it's an aesthetic thing.
Yeah. Now, the next game on my list is going to be Undertale, a indie RPG that I've heard absolutely incredible things about. I know it's the next game from Toby Fox Deltarune has been blowing up a bit on the Switch too, with chapters 3 and 4 coming out on the Switch too. And I really, really, really need to play this because I heard amazing things about it, and I gotta give it a try.
I'm looking forward to hearing what you say. That's actually a really nondescript cover. Again, very minimal. Very minimal. So, the next that is on my list is Siberia. If you didn't know, it's a steampunk game, so it kind of ties into Bioshock. Although Bioshock, if we're going to really nitpick here, is an Art Deco steampunk, versus this, which is a more Art Nouveau steampunk from what I've heard. And it goes back to those good old point-and-click adventures. I've played a couple of them on my Windows back in the day. I played Titanic Adventure at a time. Gonna plug that to get a Switch release, maybe? Probably never. But I'm really excited to try this because I love a good Art Nouveau game. I love a game that's designed around aesthetics.
I did start playing this game back when it released for the Switch. It was also actually the first Switch game I ever imported and didn't get from US soil. And it was cool. And I never finished it, but I did enjoy what I played. And the second and third games are also available on the Switch, so maybe I'll have to actually give them all a go at some point.
Yeah, I will probably too. Probably sooner before you.
Probably. Well, it's on your backlog, but it's not on mine.
Ha. What is yours?
So the next game on my list is going to be... Actually, I'm going to save that one. The next one is going to be another visual novel, Steins Gate Elite. Another visual novel that I've heard absolutely incredible things about.
Visual novels.
It is, hey, not my whole list is visual novels. I limited myself to 5 visual novels.
That's a lot of visual novels.
I have like 100 visual novels I still have to play on the Switch alone, not counting other systems.
Okay, so I think for a later date, we're going to discuss visual novels and where a good point of entry is, because maybe I'll try it, maybe I will never.
This is another one that I started but didn't get too far into before I just got sidetracked by other things. And this is the first game from the Science Adventure franchise to be released on the Switch. I know there's a lot of them. Not all of them got a physical release, unfortunately. But I did hear amazing things about this one, and I really, really got to try it out. This is the remake of Steins Gate. That's
when was the original?
I'm not sure, but this is a remake that the visuals are based off the anime adaptation of that game.
It might have a copyright from there. Because the OG seems to be dated to 2009, but I don't know what that would have been for.
I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, this is like the remake of the original. So definitely one I gotta give a try. And also comes with a 8-bit adventure, Steins Gate. Yeah, I've heard great things about it, so I'm gonna give it a go at some point.
So, that comes a big shocker for those of us who know me, but I've never played Final Fantasy 1 through 6. I did not know that all that would come out there, so let's go set the screen here. So, I've never played a Final Fantasy other than Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which at some point I did rage quit that one too, because I felt like it was a copy-paste and it was never going to have a good story. But because I've listened to almost all the Final Fantasy music, I went to one of the Final Fantasy VII concerts at Carnegie Hall, I thought to myself, I need to play this because I listened to most of the music and I feel really fraudulent listening to the music and not playing this. Plus, one of our very close friends who you might have seen on his channel, Ellie, is also a huge fan of Final Fantasy.
So I'm a big fan of the RPGs that I've played, but you know, I didn't grow up with video games, so my RPG library has a lot of black holes in my RPG back catalog that I've still been playing.
You've never played this?
Final Fantasy is another franchise where I've played a few, but I've never actually finished any Final Fantasy games. Besides for the hours and hours and hours and hours I put into Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy Current Call, and Final Bar Line. And I'm like, do I put a Final Fantasy game on my list? I'm like,
because Theater Rhythm is not really a Final Fantasy game, it's like a compilation
What's
game.
The music? I love the music. But I'm like, I could put a Final Fantasy game on my list, but I could also not. So instead of putting a Final Fantasy game, I decided to put Fantasia Neo Dimension. Because this Apple Arcade original, which was later ported to the Switch,
cool,
really took me away from the diorama visuals that they put into this game. And I always wanted to play it, but Apple Arcade, who uses Apple devices because Apple's just weird.
Apple is not weird. You are not coming for my Apple, man. You are not.
Sorry, I had to do it just to trigger him. I had to. I'm sorry. I don't care.
I'm always going to be triggered by your
Apples.
Google Watch and your Google phone.
It's not Google, it's OnePlus.
Well, whatever. It's still Google. I always use my Apple Watch.
So, I was really excited when Fantasia Neo Dimension was announced for the Switch, and I had to make sure I got it in my collection, and I will eventually play it. I'm also sort of actively in the middle of Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS5. I haven't played it in a few months though, because Expedition 33 has sidetracked me. So.
And you haven't really done much of that since.
Because I don't use the PS5 much. I like my portables.
Yeah, but you got so excited about it. Okay, what's that handheld thing for it?
Backbone?
Backbone.
Yeah. The backbone was probably not a great purchase in hindsight.
Well, we still haven't tried much with it, to be fair.
So Fantasia New Dimension looks really, really cool, and I heard great things about the game. So I really gotta give it a go.
Cool deal. I'm gonna actually ask you to put that all away. So, because I love my art and my everything, I'm picking the game Ghost of a Tale as a backlist. Because I love a mouse. I lived in the UK for a while. Mice are just really adorable. And spicy take, I also like rats too. And I looked at this and I thought it looks like a cute game. It's got a good art style. And that's the one thing Nintendo and the Switch era was good for, is a good art style. That's why Nintendo has done really, really well, I believe, is because they've always worked with their limitations to create an aesthetic that is uncloggable. What is your next?
So because he took a game from the Super Rare lineup, I'll pick one from my Super Rare lineup, which is A Short Hike. I heard really, really cute things about this game, which is just a little bird flying around an island, going on an adventure. Apparently this is a nice, short adventure.
So are you going to go on a hike after playing it?
Probably not. I like my indoors.
Because I'm going to go hiking after I play that, if I play it.
Alright, have fun. I heard just so many good things about this, and I really got to give it a try. So it's on my backlog.
Cool deal. On my list is the Harry Potter Lego collection. 2 games on 1 cartridge. I mean, who doesn't love that? I grew up reading all the Harry Potter books. I attended all the midnight launches. I went to 5 of the movies at midnight to watch the premiere. And I played with almost all of the original Harry Potter Legos. So I saw this, and I thought, coming for Switch, I'm like, I've got to play this. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I am a huge Harry Potter head. I am also a Gryffindor, if you ever want to look up my sorting hat results. And I love me some British-made stuff. So, obviously, it's a great... What are you doing with that? Having fun?
Oh, there it is.
I am
Hogwarts
also
Legacy.
in process of doing some Hogwarts Legacy. That'll be a later video in which I discuss my probable disappointment with the comparison of this to the PS5 version. But going back to this, I am super excited to have a chance to play Harry Potter Legos as an adult, but on a handheld console, or as I like to put it, undocked mode, the way it was meant to be played.
So next up on my list is going to be another game I imported. This is Ghost Trick. Yeah, Ghost Trick. I've heard amazing things about this as like a puzzle game from the DS era, which was brought over to the Switch. And I really need to play because I heard it's amazing, and I love my DS era adventure games, especially when they're brought over to the Switch. I know some other DS adventure games that still need to be brought to the Switch, and hopefully we get more of them. So this is one's on my list because I just heard amazing things about it.
It's interesting how many DS games are getting ported. So I picked Yes, Your Grace, because I love me some Age of Empires, I love me some medieval themed games, and it's a super rare game, and you seem to just love your super rare games and collecting them, so I'm looking forward to seeing the entire collection of every super rare game ever made.
Well, I stopped buying all of them.
But you could still do that again.
Budgets.
Anyways, I'm excited about this because I like medieval games. Like, I like to feel as part of a gaming experience I'm in a different time period, or if I'm not, I'm in a different world. And that's why, if you ever play Zelda, why Zelda is such a great series, or why Final Fantasy is. There's a specific world you live in. I'd like to see how well this handles that. This was talked about on Reddit by someone, I can't remember who, and it looked like a really good game. Because I was Googling something for a British TV show, Grace and Favor, which is another iteration of Are You Being Served? And so somehow I picked up Yes, Your Grace.
Now, sometimes you spend a lot of time and energy trying to find a physical copy of a video game, and then when you finally get it, you just, like, don't touch it. And for me, one of those games is Buried Stars, which is a Korean game which was only published physically in Korea, and came with a steelbook, which is the main reason I was chasing it down. And that collector edition sold out in seconds and was so expensive on the secondhand market.
So just like Phantom Masquerade, which sold out in 6 hours.
Oh, yeah, but at least you got tickets for that. This sold out in minutes. And later on, it got like a kind of re-release with just the steelbook, and I was like, finally I could get my hands on the steelbook. And I heard good things about this visual novel, and I really have to give it a go because
That's your 5th visual novel right there?
I don't even know. I lost track already. But yeah.
I'm keeping track, but I lost track.
So I've heard good things about it. I did play a few hours of it. I was enjoying it, but then I just got sidetracked. And yeah, so another one for my list.
On my next, I have picked King's Bounty because, again, King's Bounty 2. I couldn't find King's Bounty 1.
It's not on the Switch.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But, like, just like Age of Empires, I started with Age of Empires 2, man. And I'm, like, you know, really excited to see, again, another medieval game on the Switch. But more importantly, seeing how these look on Switch 2, because these are really obscure games, I think, compared to most mainstream games. And I'd like to see how they may or may not be upscaled and better running on a Switch 2. That's basically it for me. So what's your next game?
Now, leading up to the release of the Switch 2, I made a series of videos on my personal channel going through all the games that Nintendo released on the Switch themselves. And a lot of the games I haven't played, and there's a lot of games I still need to play. And one of them is Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which is a remake of 2 games from the Game Boy Advance era that I've always wanted to try out. And
Did you ever have a Game Boy Advance?
I did, but I never played Advance Wars.
Was it the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy Advance SP?
The Game Boy Advance SP was the first video game system I ever owned.
I remember having that. I had the Game Boy Color, and then I got the GBA, but I've never been a handheld player.
So, when these were announced for the Switch and then took forever to actually release, I was really, really excited, and I really have to give these a go. And I heard they do run better on the Switch too as well, so
here's hoping. For me, I have picked Northgard. Because, you know, I've always been into Vikings, and I feel like there's not enough Viking games out there. And when you look at those compilation videos on YouTube of all these upcoming games, and you see most of them are PC, and you're like, I'm never going to play that because I don't play PC. But I saw this, and I'm like, you know, this looks like a good game that might be fun to play handheld. Because sometimes it's nice to take some, you know, gratuitous violence on the go. And again, I love my Viking TV show. I love pretty much anything that's set before I was born. So yeah, looking forward to trying this because it also has French on the back. It says Bienvenue sur Northgard.
And talking about games that came out that are set before we were born, and also France, if you spend any time around this guy, besides for him nonstop talking about Okami, another game he will never shut up about is Vampire. So I'm just going to let him talk because...
Yeah, this is a game that, if you've ever read a British novel, if you've ever read, like, you know, Dorian Gray, or you've read Frankenstein, or you've read, more aptly, Dracula, there's so much development in this that starts with a beautiful, tragic, effed up beginning, and it right out the door says that this is not your typical game.
Now this is
and it's such a great game that you've got to play this because the voice acting is second to none. And if you pick different options and conversations, the inflections, all of this changes. And you get 4 different endings that is based on your morality.
Now this is a game I've been wanting to play for a long time, even before I knew this guy over here. And, you know, since I met him, he just hasn't stopped talking about this one. So it's one that I really...
You're playing it on PS5 right now.
It's one I really gotta get my act together and actually play it.
Yeah, and that even comes with the DLC, which isn't really that much DLC.
Yeah. The PS4 doesn't, right?
Yeah, I paid for the DLC because I wanted to buy it.
Alright.
So, the next game that is on my list is Call of Cthulhu. I've actually had this on my list for a while, ever since I saw it. I kept dithering whether or not to play this because I'm not as familiar with Lovecraft as some people is, but I do like my horror. Resident Evil, yes. Silent Hill, haven't really played much. But this looks really good because it's, again, an atmospheric game, and Vampire is a very atmospheric game from my experience, and from the trailer and footage I've seen of this, it looks really good. It looks like a game I'd like. But obviously, the thing I also got bummed out is seeing people talking about the Switch ports of games, that they've massively downgraded the graphics, and they've massively reduced a lot of the content in some cases. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if the Switch 2 upscales this.
Now, the Switch era gave us a ton of amazing indie games, and there are so many indie games I still need to play. And one I've heard absolutely incredible things about, never actually played myself, and actually got this copy as a gift from a friend. We have Spiritfarer,
Yeah.
which it looks so good. It sounds so interesting, and I've just heard amazing things about it, and I really need to give it a go myself. So, I really need to put this, make it a priority because it just sounds cool, like ferrying people to the underworld when they're dead.
Yeah, that sounds like Hades, just a different version of it.
No, Hades is completely different.
Okay, I'm still calling it the same thing.
It's like calling an apple the same thing as a steak. Yes, they're both food, but like, what else?
But an apple grows on a stick. Anyways, I have Kirby and the Forgotten Land on my list, and I'm really a big fan of Kirby. Well, only really Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. And of course, this game gets a beautiful Switch 2 edition. I'm really interested to see how that works and looks, because I love a good Nintendo-made game. But also, I love a 3D platformer, and I'm not as much of a 2D player as this other one over here is. But I'm looking to try to challenge that. So here's
it's
challenging that.
It's a 3D game.
Yes, I know.
It's not a 2D platformer. So
I know,
you're not
but I was
challenging your 2D.
I was just saying that Kirby is mostly a 2D game.
Now, I had absolute blast playing through this game. It is incredible and so much fun. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna be picking up the Switch 2 edition with the DLC, but because I'm not 100% sure if I really want to replay this when I have so many other games I need to play. But
it looks
it's
cool.
amazing,
And
it does look so good on the Switch. But I'm sure
I bet
the
it looks
Switch
better
2
on Switch
version
too.
is. Yeah, I had the opportunity to try it out when I went to the Switch 2 preview event, but I couldn't play everything, and that's.
Did you do Metroid at all?
No, the lines there were way too big.
You should have.
I wanted to, but the lines were so long for Metroid, and they were limiting how much time and how many games you could play.
It's kind of stupid, but I get the point.
Yeah.
So what's your next game?
The next game on my list is going to be
Hit us with it.
a 2D game. It's a 2D Metroidvania called Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, I saw that movie. Well, Prince of Persia, not that one.
And I heard absolutely incredible things about this game, and I've tried out the demo for this game, and I had a blast playing that. And I really want to give it a go, because it's just fast, fun, smooth, and it just sounds incredible. So, it's good games, right?
So here's a great question. If you're always saying Metroidvania, have you played Metroid or have you played Castlevania?
I'm not always saying Metroidvania. I'm actually not the biggest fan of the Metroidvania genre.
But have you played either of them?
No.
Thought so.
I never said I did.
No worries, no worries. So, I've finished Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2, so therefore Pikmin 3 is on my list of Pikmin games to play. I loved Pikmin because it was such an original concept, and it was one of the reasons why I loved the GameCube era of Nintendo, because it's shown when Nintendo wanted to challenge their own formulas and challenge their own established games. That's where Paper Mario took the dark and edgy turn that Thousand Year Door gave us. It's where Mario took a holiday to Isle Delfino. And it's where Captain Olimar goes out and somehow crash lands on a planet, and then he finds these little adorable characters called Pikmin. And I love my really cute games that are really cozy. And it looks like it's a game that has a great art style. I've played the first, I beat it, and the second, I beat it. And I want to play this one because it's just been on my list for a very long time.
Now, I wonder if Pikmin 5 for the Switch 2 is going to have mouse controls.
Maybe.
Now, for my next game, I was thinking, what game should I put on my list? I was like, should I put one game on, or should I put 12 games on? 12 games definitely sounds better. So for the next one, we have the Annapurna Interactive Collection that comes with 12 games. We got Donut County, Gregora, Hindsight, I Am Dead, If Found, Kentucky Route Zero, TV Edition, Neon White, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Solar Ash, The Artful Escape, The Pathless, and What Remains of Edith
Are
Finch.
those, short games?
Mostly short games.
Now, I played What Remains of Edith Finch. That was a really good one.
Now,
that broke my brain.
Some of these games I actually already played, and some of these games did have their own separate physical release on the Switch. But this is 12 games in one, and it's really fun when you pop it into the Switch. It takes a minute to load in, and it has all 12 icons just pop up. So, the Switch has 12 icons, and then you go to more. So it just takes up all 12. So Donut County, I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Donut County, I already played. Absolutely incredible 2-hour experience. So much fun. Gregora, another short game. I didn't love it.
How short is short in this case?
It's 2 hours.
Okay.
So actually, Donut County, Gregora, Sayonara Wild Hearts, and it was on this collection. It it was in a different, which one was it? Oh, Gone Home. I actually had them all physically, and then I won a giveaway from I Am 8-Bit. I got them again physically, and also Switch 1 V2 edition. And that giveaway, so that was pretty cool. Hindsight, I Am Dead, if I haven't played it. If Found, I bought digitally, that was incredible. Kentucky Route Zero TV edition, I started it from my separate physical copy, and I never finished it. Neon White, I didn't finish. Sayonara Wild Hearts was incredible, but I also didn't like it. But it's also incredible. It's like one of those games that I didn't love, but I recommend everyone to play it. Solar Ash I haven't played. Artful Escape I haven't played. Plathus I haven't played. And What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life.
It's a great short game, and it broke my mind. Didn't you have one of your old roommates play that?
I had my old roommate who doesn't even play video games and got Game Pass for free with his new phone once. I'm like, you have to play What Remains of Edith Finch, and he never wanted to talk to me again after he finished that. Don't worry, we still talk.
Yeah, we send each other texts.
It is absolutely incredible, that game, and definitely recommend. I'm really happy that this collection was expensive, but I would not have it any other way. And it's also the only way to have.
Define expensive. Is it like Mario Kart World expensive, or these ridiculously jacked up prices they're charging for Switch 2 games?
If you think $70, $80 is expensive, try $200.
I don't have words for that. We're gonna cut that. Okay, moving on.
It did come with a really cool Switch case also.
Moving on. A game that is on my list, and you'll be shocked, you'll be agog that it's on my list, is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Because yes, I like flowers, and what's more, I like talking flowers. Because just like in Paper Mario, there are talking flowers and 2D sprites, if you remember Flower Fields. But more importantly, I was at the midnight launch. I was there because I've never done a midnight launch for a game, and I thought it was super cool to be there. That's where we met Doug Bowser, of all people, and that was super cool. That was like a once-in-a-lifetime event, or probably more frequent if it's Nintendo of New York, let's be real. But it's on my list because Mario is a great franchise. He's like the Mickey Mouse of game characters because there's so many genres he's gone into. And this looks like a great, innovative way of tackling the 2D world, which is one of the biggest markets for Mario. But as a 3D gamer, I wouldn't normally want to play this, but because I've heard so much good stuff about it, and this one hasn't stopped talking about the glories of 2D Mario.
Talking about it, but
okay, well, you did talk a lot about it.
Because the game is absolutely incredible. I beat this game 99.9% completion. That last room, the last level, made me so mad, and kind of almost ruined the game for me because I had to rage quit because that last room,
you rage quit a game? I am agog.
It happens more than you think. But yeah, that last room of the last level where you have to use the invisible badge just made me so mad. So I didn't finish that last little bit. But otherwise, an absolutely incredible game. And even the rhythm jump levels, whatever, I forgot what the game's called, that just suck up like 1,000 lives. Those were at least fun. The invisible cap is not fun.
Maybe that would probably be easier for me.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. What's your next?
The next one on my list is going to be Haven, another indie game that I just heard really good things about and just looks fun, so I gotta play it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it's indie, it must be good, right?
Yeah, I try to it's not, indie doesn't equal good, but I heard good things about it.
Yeah, but if you're a real hipster, you'll play it before it's cool.
I tried to split up my list between indies, RPGs, visual novels, and other games.
My next game is Wavetale because I love a good artsy game, and this looks like a good game to get myself more into art and aesthetics. And I love games that are just just out there, they're out in the broader world. Because a lot of the time, if you live in a city like New York City or Brooklyn specifically, you don't really get to go out and see the great outdoors. And the great outdoors is your local street garden outside on the sidewalk. And this looks really good just because it says surf the waters of a submerged city on the back of it. It looks like a game that's exploration, a good adventure game. I love a good adventure. So I'm looking forward to trying this.
That game does look really fun. I also want to play it.
Wait, you've never played it?
No. Are you shocked that I haven't played a lot of the games in my collection?
Not at this point, no.
The next game on my list is a visual novel rhythm game called Jack Jean. It's also a visual novel, otome, and a rhythm game. So, 3 genres that sound cool. And I heard really, really good things about this one as well, so one that, needs to go on my backlog.
Yeah. So my next game is Cult of the Lamb. Because I love my animals. This one wants to run them all over with a car.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
Only if they come into my house.
Anyways, this looks like a really fun game. It looks like, looks like really fun. Like, who's ever thought of making their own cults? I mean, aside from, like, Charles Manson. But again, why are we going to Charles Manson? I don't know, it just popped up in my eye. But this looks like a really fun game because it looks like a cute art style. It's challenging my gaming sides and everything that, I've always been interested in, because gaming for me has been an endless journey, and I've explored so many different things. It might not sound like it, though. What is yours?
So, since he claims I hate animals, why would the next game on my list be a game about teenage animals talking about depression? Yeah, I've heard amazing things about Night in the Woods, and I've always wanted to try it out, and it's just been
Because I've had those on camping.
It's been on my backlog forever, so I really gotta play it.
I should go play it. So that's your penultimate game. We've got our last games coming up next. Let's have that drum roll.
Are they gonna be live up to the hype, or are they just gonna be let's see? There's only one way to find out.
I'm a musician, as I probably said, and it's never been more seen in that I want to play Mozart Requiem. This is definitely on my list because I love 18th century anything. I might literally have a section on our channel talking about period games with a special highlighted thing on 18th century games. And I love Mozart. And I've always wanted to go to Prague. I actually have a friend who lives in Prague. But more importantly, oh yeah, that's cool. I just love the idea that there's a video game based on Mozart and this world that he was a part of. Because even if it's not going to be accurate, and I know it's not, it's going to be giving us a chance to see into that world of, fine livery, glorious patrons commissioning music, and of course the intrigues of Prague in 1788.
Now, for the last game on my list is another game that I heard a lot of good things about, but never ended up getting around to playing it for myself.
So...
we have The House in Fata Morgana. It looks really cool. He might like the aesthetic of it as well. But
that looks more like a visual novel. I'm not as interested in those.
Yeah, it's a visual novel. Are you surprised that I put a visual novel on my list?
You have 16 visual novels in that collection.
Not all of them are visual novels.
I'm 16 of them pretty sure they are.
I think less than 16.
I think mine has a lot of variety.
Mine also has variety.
Are you shocked about mine?
No. So yeah, I've heard good things about this game, and I really gotta try it out. It's a gothic suspense tale set in Cursed Mansion, and that doesn't interest you?
Yeah, but this is more interesting. Prague, 1788. Play as Mozart in a thrilling adventure at the heart of secret societies. Caught between the war of powers and occult ceremonies, you will only have one mission: to save the emperor. Will he be up to the task? Now, if you know Mozart and you know the 18th century, the biggest group of people around then was the Freemasons, which is a pretty big deal, and it still exists today. I know several Freemasons, and if you're in the classical music world, why not become a Freemason? I'm not one yet, so no, I cannot tell you what's going on.
So yeah, these are our backlogs, and we will be making videos talking about all these games as we play through them. So let us know in the comments what games from the Switch era you still need to play. Whether you're still playing them on the Switch 1, or you're playing on the Switch 2. Are you playing any of these games on other systems? And if you played these games, let us know in the comments what you thought of them.
Yes, please do.
And let's
what are you
going
to start with?
That's a very, very good question that I cannot answer at this minute.
I'm probably going to do a lottery with it. I'll randomize it and just blindly pick.
I might also randomize it, but we also have to I'm still working on Yakuza 0 for my Switch 2 launch game. I'm still playing 100 Line Last Defense Academy, which is going to be taking...
How many lines did you get? 3?
I think did 38 endings already.
Okay, so you've got...
I still need to play Xenoblade. I'm still playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm still playing Batman Arkham Asylum. And...
You've got so many tabs open on that browser of yours.
We got No Sleep for Konami Date releasing soon. We got Shooten Order releasing soon. We got Trails in the Sky First Chapter releasing soon. Sonic Racing Crossroads releasing soon. Then we got, so...
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's why we got backlogs.
Yeah, backlogs. Cult of the Lamb. You want to be in a cult.
So yeah, it's going to be fun. That's
never
running out of video games to play.
Of course not, never.
And
So it's been swell, folks. We will see you in the next video.
thanks